Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Pascal Mangold, CEO of Magnolia International.
Welcome everyone to the conference 2014. It's our 5th conference this year and I'm very proud to be here. I'm actually excited and nervous as always, but you can imagine that's the case like always. So it's the largest conference so far. We have people from everywhere in the world. We have people from China, we have people from the Emirates, from Vietnam, from the United States, of course from Europe, as we are currently in Europe. And we have over 270 attendees this year. So it's almost 50% more than last year. So I'm really happy to have such a lot of great audience here. It's once again the record year for Magnolia, and I'm really proud to share some kind of details with you later on in this presentation. So we are all in Basel here. We are in a very nice theater, very nice variety, and you know, Basel is the place where we started our companies, Boris and me. So, Boris and me were both raised in this area. We merged our companies in 1997, and we started with Magnolia 2003. The rest is history. But, you know, we both love this city. We only love this city not only because it's a business city, but, you know, personally. It has a lot of cultural aspects, it has exhibitions, has nice museums. Everything is really cool. And we are swimming sometimes in the River Rhine as well. So over lunchtime, when people, you know, like getting too hot, and so that's really, really nice. This city has an internationality. And has an internationality and best business requirements to build companies like Magnolia. But that's not all. It's not all everything about business requirements. We have a city close to the border of Europe. It's at the border of France and Germany. You know, people are open-minded here for years and years. Basel was being the center of Europe for 700 years, so people used to have this the same way today. We have an airport just like within 15 minutes to our office. Our office is located at the River Rhine, so we're overlooking the River Rhine. We have a nice terrace there, and people enjoy being here. And the thing is, business requirements is so much important. We have like great big companies here in Basel. We have Roche, we have Novartis, we have Syngenta. They call it the Bio Alley here, so Life Science City. But I think when we look at our performance right now, it might be as well for future to say that we have like also CMS city somehow. It's a bit the thing that the CMS innovation here is quite intense. We have Adobe and Magnolia here in Basel. So we are committed to that place, committed to Basel. We were looking for a long time for an office that suits our requirements, that reflects our being, that, you know, that suits us well. We have now a building out of 1928, you know, totally nicely restored, but we couldn't find anything close to that in the middle of the city in the old town of Basel. So we were looking around and we were able to find an architect, Zwimpfer und Partner here in Basel. They were building something spectacularly new in a rural area. It was like actually the former industrial area of the duty warehouse where all the duty warehouses were. So they call it now the Kunstfreilager. It's something like with art and a vibrant area that's going to be built. Next to us is the University of Applied Science and Arts. So this building actually reflects what we're going to have. So we are going to build our new headquarters in Basel here. In the basement, we have like 250 square meters. Second floor, 1,100 square meters. We have 4 studios for people who travel back and forth to Switzerland, especially our subsidiaries. People can stay in the same building, have nice rooms, and of course our rooftop. The rooftop is where people meet and greet, where people get together. And I'd like to show you some interior renderings, how that should look like. So we have the entrance here on the second floor. With its simplicity and design, wood, concrete. It should reflect the simplicity of our product inside of our new headquarters. We have like the social area where we meet, discuss, where people can eat, where people can drink something, have a coffee, discuss, and even where, where people who like to visit us first meet each other. Boris and me gonna have like chefs. Here we are cooking for our employees from time to time. We were gonna have like a big kitchen so that we are going to proceed with these events like we did it in our old office. We have like a library with alternative workspace, and it's going to be really pretty and really open office space. That's the backside view of this area. You see on the right side, you see this building. That's the University of Applied Science. So it will be a vibrant area with like 1,200 students there. There will be coffees opening, dailies, and in the basement, we are going to have a daily for people who want to eat something and want to just sit outside or staying longer in the office, which sometimes happens. So, freedom, talking about freedom. For us, Boris and me, we are both shared the same attitudes from the beginning. Attitudes for passion, passion for the product. Quality, like the Swiss Army knife quality that you all got this morning. Honesty, respectfulness to serve our clients and for their projects. So in 2006, we decided to change our business model. Previously, we had only an open source, free version of Magnolia, and we served it with our services. We changed it and introduced a subscription service, an enterprise edition with subscription services. That generated for us a stable revenue and a steady income stream. So we were able, after this decision, to have the freedom to develop a state-of-the-art product that shapes the industry and the market. And that was only possible due to that subscription service and due to the case that we didn't have any investors and any VC. So the goal is to make projects successfully and customers happy. I'd like to share with you some insights into our financials. So this year, as of 2013, we doubled the revenue in around 2 years. That's amazing if you compare this to any other competitor in the industry. We reached this with a sales to developer ratio of 1 to 7. That means we have 5 salespeople and 35 developers. 85% of the 7.5 million Swiss francs is subscription. It's only 15% services, and those services are architectural advice, training, and subject matter expertise. We invested for Magnolia 5, which we were presenting last year, same time, exactly a year ago. We were investing 5 million over the past 3 years. And we were able to absorb this by our P&L, by our profit and loss. So nobody said something, how we shall do Magnolia. We were able to absorb everything. That's not all. So if you compare this to the industry, that's always the question, how does the industry move? Is it like faster than you? Is it slower than you? The industry currently moves for 30% growth year by year. We are growing 35% year over year. That's the compound annual growth rate of 35%. With an attrition rate, with people who cancel the contracts, of just 5%. So we are getting more customers, losing just a tiny part of customers. So that's why we were able to achieve those 35% year over year. The result actually is that you pay for the product and for the services and not for the sales and marketing blah blah, as you all know that some others do. So, talking about subsidiaries, we were opening several subsidiaries all across the world over the past years. Boris started in 2007, 2008, started the US presence. We were able to hand over the US presence to Bill Beardsley, who is within the audience today. We started the Spanish subsidiary. We were able to hand it over last year to Miguel Abreu Ferrer. And we have the Czech office, which was our support and maintenance center for years. Now we are going to change that a little bit and introduce there the integration center for Magnolia integrations to be performed out of Czech. Last springtime, Boris and me were able to fly to China because we had an invitation there. And we were interested, how is this country? How does that work? You know, like we had no ideas. I mean, everybody talks about China, something different. We were absolutely and totally amazed how China was. You know, from A to Z, you know, how people are, how business works. And we decided to open our office in China, mid of 2013. We had explored 1,200 CVs, had 15 interviews, and decided in the end for 4 people. Why China? People ask me this several times. It's 1.4 billion people. It's an emerging market, and we think that we have to be there because it's going to change where business will be made. Not totally, but slightly. And for example, this decision of Volkswagen to release their new cars in China first and not in Germany anymore, and to create marketing strategies in China first and then reflect them to the rest of the world, gave us the trust that our office will be successful. We did the bottom-up approach. Bottom-up approach means we hired first the technicians. Technicians, we trained them. Technicians, Chinese technicians, of course. You know, like language barrier is so heavily there that you need to have people that are local and know the language very well. That means we are started with a bottom-up approach, and we are going to have, and we already started, to have Chinese developer documentation, Chinese localization, and Chinese website. With the release of 5.2 last November, actually at our 10th anniversary of Magnolia, we introduced 3 languages. We introduced English, German, and Chinese. Who would have thought that the 3rd language is Chinese 10 years ago? But that reflects the market, and that's what we think is going to go to. So we are planning sales and further expansion in 2014, 2015. Of course, we are discussing always, you know, what other markets might be interesting for us, and let's see what's going to come up. Good. Partners. Partners were always a crucial part of our strategy. Magnolia decided in 2006 that we are focusing on our product development, focusing on the CMS and not focusing on project services. So we were looking around for the best partners that are able to work with the most demanding projects out there. Find and train them, and of course, as we got more and more international, to focus where our clients actually are. So our partners are local, available where our clients are. So this slide is actually the main part of the strategy between partners and clients and Magnolia. It's our so-called magic triangle. The magic triangle reflects the discussion between the 3 parties. As we are only providing subject matter expertise and training, and the partners providing project services, we have to talk to each other. As more as we talk, as more interaction we are able to establish, the better, the more successful the projects are, the more successful and more happy the clients are. Just to give you a rough estimate what our ecosystem, that means Magnolia and its subscription services, as well as the partner services are. We did a rough calculation and came like roughly about 100 million Swiss francs per year. And that's really the whole bunch of partners and Magnolia together. So the conclusion on that is we stay with what we know, partners stay with what they know, and that gives everyone the most beneficial part. So last year, in 2013, we were able to attract 30 new partners. We are almost like 60 partners right now, and this was due to the case that Magnolia 5 was released. And a lot of partners came to us and said, listen, I think I can do better servicing our clients, our future prospects with Magnolia 5, and we are so proud that we have now 60 certified and trained partners. So if you talk about customers in regions is, of course, Europe is where our headquarters is, so it's our base. It's 70% of all our customers. It's not divided into money or into revenue. It's really divided into customers. 70% Europe, 22% North America, 3% Middle East, 2% South and Central America, and 2% Asia Pacific. So there is much more room for future development of our subsidiaries and to gain market share, especially within the United States. United States actually was the most performing country in 2013, so they did the most additional revenue to our 7.5 million Swiss francs. So evolution, that's me, long time ago, with hair, I think, yeah, it's with hair, yeah, exactly. Boris and me, as said, we merged our companies, 1997. We wore different kind of hats. Boris took over the marketing initiatives, creating the brand awareness. Actually, he was the guy who was able to find that name, Magnolia, which has nothing to do with Mangold. And he was head of product development as well. I took over head of services, head of sales, and head of finance. So, but when we are now 65 people all across the world. So things changed a bit, and we are working hard to select the best management team members. We tried to emphasize them. We tried to look for the same attitudes that we have as well. So I can announce that the management team is now complete. And we have like several new additions. Ala Kugelma, our new CFO, joined this February. Chris Justice joined in March. And Boris and me, we were able to hand over all our operational tasks to those management team members. You see, it's slightly changed what kind of names we have here. We have Chief Executive Officer, that's still me, Chief Commercial Officer, Marketing Officer, but there is something new on the left side from my side. So it's Philippe Barfuss, who is now Chief Technology Officer. Boris was able to hand over his CTO position. He's now Chief Visionary Officer. And it's really something which he always been. And he always, came with, and he has like this outlook capabilities of not only 1 year, as a CEO usually does, figures, next quarter, but he looks like beyond a certain period. So Boris is Chief Visionary Officer, and I'd like to invite him on stage right now. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pascal. And this is me, Chief Visionary Officer. Good. Glad to be here. I'm glad that you are here. Glad we filled the room. So next year, I think we have to rent the other floors as well. My new title, Chief Visionary Officer, as Pascal said, this is a new position, but actually it's something I've done all the years in the past. Pascal was always responsible for the short term. He made sure that we were actually making payroll, and I was trying to look over the horizon and see if you're still relevant in 2, 3, 5 years from now. And that's a role I love to do. So, first time we're doing this conference in summer. You're not going to see much of that while you're in here, but I hope you get a chance to go out tonight to the party, see us maybe tomorrow morning swimming in the Rhine River. There's lots of stuff going on, or on Friday when we have the social activities. Good. How did we get here? Let me see if this works. Very, very nice. First thing first, the vision. This is where we started, right? When Pascal and I first met, and I don't really like to talk about the past so much because there's so much future coming, but really the first thing that the two of us did were talking about content management. It's something that most people don't really know, but we sat together in my garden at the time, and we drafted a complete content management system that we never built, by the way. But it was a good exercise, and it took us another 3-4 years before content management was a topic again. That was back in 2003. And our vision was basically simplicity on enterprise scale. From the very beginning, we were looking at systems where we said, we need something that is easy to use. You know, we knew our customers. We were a service provider, just like many of you are. We knew our customers, and we knew how hard it is if you have a UI that people don't understand. At the same time, we wanted something that is enterprise scale, because we were just seeing that something will happen, you know, that there will be a lot of development on the web. And this drive, this development is paramount to where we are today and what is happening today. So simply, we wanted to build a product that people love and that everybody loves in the community, right? And that got us to amazing customers. That was really the key. This is why from very early on we had very large customers, and if you look at our customer list today, it's the who is who on this planet, right? This is, for us, what drives us. It's just amazing whom we work with and who contacts us, and it makes everybody proud, not only me and Pascal, but everybody in our company. And the projects that people do out there, they drive the industry, right? They do really cool stuff. The last couple of years, I was talking a lot about where we are positioned, and I will reiterate some of that later on about the open suite approach that we have, about the virtual presence or digital presence, and how basically online and offline retail, how they converge. You know, now you have omni-channel strategies and so on. But the projects that are out there, I want to quickly highlight some of them. First, many of you have already seen this last year, I guess, Al Arabiya. This is exciting for us, right? It's exciting on so many levels because, for instance, it's in the Middle East. You know, we're here in Switzerland, and if we're here in Switzerland and we meet people, they say, well, how come you do Al Arabiya? You know, how likely is that? Actually, it's very likely because of all the stuff that we have done. And let's talk a little bit about this project. So this is, you know, updates all the time. We have up to 40 concurrent users. That's, you know, people writing articles at the same time. You know, they're generating somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000 articles every month. That's a decent amount of articles that has to cope with this system. But what is really interesting, it's 70 million visitors visiting this web page every month. These are significant numbers. And the most amazing one, of course, 20,000 concurrent visits per second as a peak. This is cool. It's cool stuff. You can see how our vision of bringing something that is enterprise scale, how that actually works and worked out. 3 clients that went live last week, and it shows a little bit of where the whole thing is going at the moment. We have a lot of travel customers, booking customers when you integrate booking engines. A lot is happening in retail for us. You saw the slide earlier on from Pascal, so it's quite interesting how all these businesses wake up and say, okay, we got to do something out there. This is Avis, everybody knows them. That's Budget, I guess most people know them as well. And the third site that went live last week is Virgin America, a site that we are really, really proud of. Because, well, A, we love the Virgin brand, who wouldn't, except with their competitors, of course. And this site shows what is happening at the moment. This is a Magnolia 5 site. Obviously, it's not using the standard templating kit. It's hard to tell from here, but the world has changed how you do front-end development, and we'll come to that later. But why this is interesting is because basically, excuse me, basically this is an app, right? It's an app that runs inside of your website. And what they wanted to do is, I got this statement here, they wanted to take a fresh look at travel websites. And all of a sudden, it's not about the airline anymore. It's about you trying to book a travel. So they changed the mode of thinking, right? They say, this isn't about us, we are the coolest airline, there's lots of stuff here. No, it's, okay, you want to book a travel right here. You want to book a flight. I think this is, let me just get some water. This is key to what is happening at the moment. So what drove the redesign was two things, simplicity and speed. That's their statement, not ours. And you can read up a lot about this new site actually on the web. There's articles about it, how that changes what is happening at the moment. And maybe one small anecdote, one of the customers that used the new site, he had booked his ticket in under 4 minutes, and he called in the call center to thank them for the new website. And I think this is really cool. This is customer orientation. And that means it's very successful what they're doing. And I want to talk a little bit about the ingredients for this success. So for me, there are a couple of things. Obviously, there's lots of things you can talk about. It's skills, hard work, the right technology, the right platform. And I want to focus on, of course, the platform, because Magnolia is important in that context, but also on communication and conversation specifically. Clue Train Manifesto, this is basically the foundation of digital marketing today, of marketing on the web today. And it starts out with saying markets are conversations, right? And this is what Virgin America, for instance, has understood with this new website. And if markets are conversations, we want to get these conversations started. This is why we have the conference. We have you here to talk to each other. We have prospects here, talk to our customers, talk to partners. Partners talk to each other, developers talk to each other, marketing people talk to everybody else, and get the conversation started, because you need to work together to master the challenges that are coming up. So conversations are in real time. And this is the speed aspect that Virgin was also looking at, right? It's not like you see on this stone here in earlier times when you were communicating, you went somewhere and this guy was chiseling out of a big rock, what you needed to be communicated, like the 10 Commandments or something, right? It's a little bit more interactive and in real time these days. So specifically, the marketeers need speed, but also the business, right? You're always talking about, return on investment and how fast can we get the money back that we are investing. So, and speed and agility is really what combines, or what marketing people and IT people these days have in common. And that's actually quite interesting, because so far, basically, you would always say, hey, the marketeers would say, well, I don't talk to IT. It takes them forever, right? And IT, of course, has the other problem that they say, well, marketing doesn't understand us. This is hard work that we have to do. But both of them want speed and agility. And we believe that Magnolia is paramount there. This is something that we are driving forward. You can also look at the developments in the last years, Scrum, Agile development. This is something we've been doing at Magnolia for years. And it's something that marketeers are starting to do. They're thinking in sprints. They do Scrum meetings and stand-up meetings and these kinds of things. So it's spilling over from IT into marketing, and that's very interesting from a process perspective. And to give you one example of how this could work out, this is already a couple of years ago, but I still love the example. There was a members of parliament scandal in the UK, right? And the scandal was about the members of parliament spending public money for private stuff, basically. And all of England was talking about that. And the newspapers, they knew we have to provide something. We have to provide something interactive where people can look up what these members actually spent for what, right? And the Telegraph, what they did is said, okay, we have an established content management system here, right? It's big, heavy, enterprisey stuff, but we need speed. We cannot get this with our system. So what they did is downloaded Magnolia and implemented an interactive website that seamlessly integrated into their main web asset, like you see here, into the Daily Telegraph, and allowed anybody in the UK to actually look up at all the members of parliament and check in a database, what did they spend the money for. And it took them less than 3 weeks to go live, and would have been totally impossible with their existing system. And these are the things that, drive us, that make us proud, where we see, yes, we did the right thing, So conversations are in real time, but they're also with real people, right? And this is also something where if you read the Clue Train Manifest, you'll see that will be a lot of talk about, hey, talk in your own voice, don't be some corporate, hide behind corporate speak and so on. So this is also, talk to us, talk to me. Real people, and that reflects also what is happening now in terms of web experience management and in how your viewpoint changes, like the Virgin side, right? It's from your world, that means you as a company, to their world, your customer's world, right? This is how the world is changing. And this is also why we have a lot of talk about web experience management in the last couple of years. And web experience management, that's basically content management, which we have with Magnolia, analytics, right? Multi-channel, and personalization. Multi-channel, Magnolia has done for years. We've been doing this really early on, playing out to mobile devices and so on. This was really just an extension of what we had the system built for. That was easy. Analytics, there are lots of analytics vendors out there. I don't think we will be one of them, right? I think you want to leave that to the guys that really know what they're doing. And the personalization, of course, is something we brought you with Magnolia 5.3. So we got that part covered. Well, let's look a little bit about the offerings out there. And I think this is a nice picture of what do you get if you buy all in one, right? This is the advertisement. This is the food you get. And Pascal and I, we both are food lovers. He mentioned that we do the Chefs at Chefs occasionally, where we cook for the whole company. And this image here for me is like no work. You just put it in the microwave, and you get your experience. This is the experience that you get. Maybe not so great. The alternatives, of course, involve a lot of different things. This is Rota das Estrellas, a really great cook. And if you want to do great food, you actually need a couple of things. This is the right skills, the right tools, the right ingredients, and there's also some work. It's hard work usually. And only if you combine that and if you have the right platform, you get a great experience, right? This is one of his dishes, by the way. I haven't tried it, but if you want to invite me, I'd be happy, right? So to achieve that, you need a great platform, right? So we have communication. We have you here. You can talk to us. Pascal mentioned the magic triangle, right? We have a very open conversation. We want to make you happy. We want to solve your problems, and everybody in our company does. This is what drives us. Your success drives us. We also built this platform for you, right? So what you need to do is talk in your company, think about your business goals, and implement this on the platform. And we try to make these things simple for you. Magnolia's open suite approach, I talked about that last year. It's basically we envision Magnolia at the center, at the hub of your communication, right? And there's a reason why we do this. It's not because we think we're super important. It's because this is the way that it works best, right? You have a lot of systems that you need to integrate, all your backend systems, your corporate data, your transactional mechanisms, everything that you have in your company, everything that actually provides value to your customers, you want to play out across multiple channels, right? It's got to work on the phone, it's got to work on your Google Glass, in your in-car entertainment, and of course on the web, on the point of sales, and lots of other places. And last year I showed a slide that basically said, hey, if your customers have a bad experience in any of the channels, there's like a 60% likelihood that they will not do business with you on any other channel either, including your stores, right? So you cannot afford to provide inconsistent brand experience. And this is why you want one platform where you route everything through, right? Everything in, everything out. That means if I go to your Facebook page or if I go to your phone, I have exactly the same prices and the same events happening that you have on other channels. This is how you can do this. So there's a lot about integration that you have to do here, and this is where we support you in technology, and this is how you can create value for your customers. Good. More about the platform. We think Magnolia 5 is a fantastic platform, right? I keep getting asked, when do you do Magnolia 6? Well, Magnolia 6 isn't anywhere on the horizon. Magnolia 5 is what we live and breathe. This is the platform that we will drive forward for the next couple of years. I think 5, 6 years, who knows, right? This is a massive platform. We're just getting started on what we can do with it and what you can do with it. Good. So what do we have? It's a powerful platform. It allows you to do apps, and it reduces complexity. You know that we were the first ones, and we are still the only ones that have developed an enterprise content management system that works on a tablet. If you read up about the other guys that have a conference today and tomorrow in Basel, and about their new product, you'll be amazed. So it doesn't work. I didn't say that. They said. Good. What I like about Magnolia 5.3, which is what we released just a couple of days ago, is how it validates our apps approach. And this is really, really, really gratifying to me, because it was a big gamble. As Pascal said, we invested a lot of money, and we had this long-term vision that eventually you need something that works on a mobile as well. But the more critical point is we wanted something that allows you to extend the product without increasing the complexity. If you look at this screenshot here, you see Magnolia 5, the targeting group that we have. It's just another group of apps. And if you don't need targeting and personalization in your product, then you can just turn them off. You won't see them. You can do this role-based. You can do provisioning in Magnolia with these apps. There's a lot of cool stuff in Magnolia 5.3. Philip will present that in a talk after me. I'll just give you 2 screenshots here. This is the new preview app. It's really nice, great work, where you can basically scroll through your different users and segments and say, okay, how would this page look like if I were Miss Fang here from China, right? And you can add additional information there. And this is basically where we can define personas, and we have traits and lots of things, how it makes it really easy for you to define page variants in the end and say, well, this is customized, personalized, targeted content in Magnolia. Have a look at it. It's really, really beautiful how it's done. This is Magnolia 5.3 personalization. Again, there is massive amounts of other cool stuff. Let me just mention 2 more without the slides. One is that the apps concept now is completely independent of JCR content. So if you use Magnolia as a dashboard into your enterprise, if you use the double funnel to integrate stuff, you can now access any data source inside or outside of your company directly from Magnolia apps and have the same user experience. And the other is something for the marketing people here. That's the marketing tags manager that we have also released. There's plenty of other stuff that you'll see. So what's the future for us? Magnolia 5.4, really, we want to keep making life simpler for you, right? This is just our wiki. This is just stuff we're talking about. What we want to achieve is role-based development, making sure that the various resources that you have in your team, that they all can contribute to the success of your projects. Then, a couple of more announcements. Magnolia certification, right? So last year we launched the Magnolia Academy, and I can say that it's really successful. It's fairly complete now in its content, and it's easy for people across the world to access the Academy. It's free. And then get certification. That's something we're going to launch in the next couple of weeks, where you have online tests and certain processes to ensure that you have a valid Magnolia certificate as a developer. These certificates, they will be available to the people that take classroom training just as well as the online people. And we'll just be able to kind of guarantee a certain level of know-how for the partners here and customers that want to hire people that basically are certified developers, right? Or certify the ones that they have. So this is something we've been working on. And Magnolia On Demand, something that people have asked for quite a while. We're talking to these people here right now about providing you an on-demand environment through the Magnolia web assets. So you'll be able to go to Magnolia and say, okay, I want to launch Magnolia. And we have a couple of offerings coming on there, but give us 3-4 more weeks to finalize that. And finally, the new App Finder launched this week as well. And it is the new #1 resource where you can submit and find apps. You know, we have the code repositories there, and we want to highlight your apps. And I want to encourage you to start building these apps. We already have a couple of pretty cool things. Some of you might have seen this. It's the dead link checker by Marvin. He's here today as well. There you are. Thank you. And this was one of the first apps that has been developed on Magnolia 5, and it's actually really cool because people asked for it for a long time. You know, so it's a pretty cool, nifty little app that runs inside of Magnolia. And then from tNext, we have the social media hub, also an amazing app that allows you to basically have tweets and Facebook and other social media in your workflow, in your publishing workflow, right in Magnolia. So there's lots of stuff you can do. As I just said, we made the app concept even more powerful. You can connect to any data source, to web services, whatever, and provide the same experience right in Magnolia. So I encourage you to build your own apps and see where they get us. Incidentally, a couple of weeks, this is more or less the last thing I say, 3-4 months ago or so at CeBIT, we had the massive opportunity to ship Magnolia as the only software on the DVD for the magazine. And the apps that were ready at the time, they were at the DVD. So that was cool. You know, if we have apps, we can do something for you. Very good. Let me get Pascal back on stage here.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Good. Thank you, guys.
So our keynote is actually finished. I would like to thank everyone, especially our partners, our clients, and our employees. Put your hands together for all our employees that made it possible what we have today and what we were able to release today, App Finder, new Magnolia 5.3, and amazing marketing things that are going to come. And I would like to thank the marketing team for creating this amazing event. Enjoy it. Have a nice day. Thank you very much.
Thank you.